Okay, we'll start working on the assignment live together, but we'll cover a lot of concepts. So, and the lecture notes, by the way, is online. I just don't think I need to spend time explaining to you why we have to do this and that. I want to focus more time on the coding part. So these are the slides. The most important slide is that don't store the password, right? And you can read about all the nightmare that happened with it. Now, assignment for this week is that you build something that you have users chatting with each other. So you have users signing in, right? And then they can send messages to other people. So you have outgoing messages. They can receive messages from other people. So those are incoming messages, right? And user can add friends, remove friends. So those are friendship. So this is when you have many to many and all the fun stuff. Unfortunately, the homework looks like this, which is really boring. You have to, go into the README file and then follow along. But that's how we learn, right? We have to make the boring stuff fun, and a lot of bonus stories. You see the list of bonus? It's really, the better you are, we make sure that the more stuff you can do. So start early so you can do more and you can learn a lot from that. To give you an example what the app does is like, let's say you have, this is one student from the last class, right? Can sign in, and this person can send a message to any other people. Can send one message to many people. But you see, this person has 3 people. They all chat and it's all live. Well, he's using React, and this stuff is a little fancy. But it's nice. It illustrates the idea, right? Don't feel bad if like, it doesn't seem easy to do it. Of course, it's not that easy. But hopefully, if you start early, the more time you can actually make better in this. So, Quan's app's also really good. But this one, I already showed his stuff, so I'm showing someone else's work now. Okay. As usual, I'm going to start a new terminal and go and work on it with you, right? Probably you're not going to be able to type along, right? But take notes and then we'll, this is on video, so hopefully it'll be useful. Alright, so let's say I'll go to demo. I'm going to start the homework. Let's see if I can finish the homework in 30 minutes, right? Okay, so what is it called? Snapchat. Come up with a cool name. I'm going to call it maybe Rails new. Okay, I'm just going to use I have Rails there already, right? Make sure you have the right version. So Rails new, let's call it maybe Chat, right? It's such a terrible name. But I don't know, maybe Snat. Wow, I'm really creative today. So let's say database as usual, Postgres. Ready? Okay, I really don't like the name. Who can give me a good name? C-Chat. Go to chat. Huh? Like that?
Nice.
Okay. Okay, so first thing to do is create that. And what's the second thing you're gonna do? Go to, apparently I have a lot in there. So chat, what's that? Don't name your app something you cannot remember. First mistake. All right, what's next? Okay, so maybe I'm like, okay, greet in it. I'm a good, good Rails app. So first commit, or maybe you can actually, I like to do something like that, whatever, right? So I have the first one. I like to change the gem file to use my Ruby version. So we all know that already. And what's next? We need to boot up the DB, right? Create. Okay, so basically now you can run Rails server. Don't skip steps, because when you start out, enjoy taking the time. Like, okay, everything looks good, right? You don't want things to start breaking and then tracing back. Next is this one. This is the file you want to put in your README. So command line, actually I say I get this file and I save it as my readme.markdown file, right? So as you can see, hopefully if I'm right, git status and git diff. So okay, I did that, and you see that I already replaced the readme file. Looks good, right? Let's get started. So basically, I'm going to implement the first one. User can sign in by providing email, password, and name. We're learning authentication authorization today. Right? No one falls asleep, right? What's the first thing we're going to do with this user thing? Rail generate what? Model. Who says scaffold? I'm going to chop your hand. Okay, model, user. What field do you want?
Username.
Huh?
Username.
Okay, name, email, and password. Password, you sure? Who store password? Okay, and nowadays, I think username, you see how confusing it is in a lot of websites when they say enter your email and then you enter username, you cannot log in. Username and email. So I guess sometimes you want, first name, last name, but for our stupid app, it's not worth asking that, so just ask for name. That's good. I'm going to skip username as well. I'm just going to use email is your username. Name is not unique. We have 2 Ming in the class, for example, right? But email is unique. Unless you're husband and wife and you just share one account, right? Now, usually, if you ever look at the users table, you see one field that stores the password. What is it called?
Salt.
Nope. But good answer. Salt is something to use to generate the encrypted password. So the encrypted password, you can call it encrypted underscore password, right? Some call it a password digest. Digest, again, is the same idea, it's just random string or hashed password. So in Rails convention, we will name it password underscore digest. And we're going to implement it ourselves. We're not going to use device. Okay, if we do this, what happens? It generate the model for me and then put something in the routes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah? Well, let's say all string. So see model, so no routes. This model and that. And then what else? You still need to generate the controller, right? So in this case, let's say if I just want to destroy, if you accidentally type something you don't like, for example, you type like, names, right? So again, not everything is clean. But what I want, this is short for destroy, right? What I want is actually, I want to generate a resource. No scaffold, but user and all controller and all the CSS files that I want. So it adds the results, resources. That's nice. Controller users, right? And what else? Also migration, the same thing. But it's just controller and routes. Okay? Controller and routes. And let's see what new files I have. Git status. Okay, looks good to me. Let's take a look at the migration file, right? So by now you know how to find the migration file. It looked like that. Double check. Does it look fine? Technically, this is before I migrate. You can actually do this index true if you're more careful, right? Oh, find by user, it has to be fast. Okay? So what else? Maybe that's okay. Some of you may be like, oh no, not null, and add more rules to it. As you become better, you can add more stuff like this, but don't worry so much for now. Yeah. So obviously, if you run go to the website, it will complain. So I have to migrate it now. I migrate. Let me check the schema. Okay, so it create this, and it also say create an index. So when you search by the email, it will be very fast. Looks good. Now I'm going to look at my routes files. Read users. So we need a home page. We don't know what to put on the home page yet. So I'm going to be lazy and go to the most useful page. What is that page? What is root? Yeah, but what's that page that is useful? Yeah, list me the list of all users. Yeah. So Rails, again by convention, this is sweet. This is shortcut for, right? Shortcut for get this, go to users index. Right? When you write this on the right hand side, it means controller and action, the pound, right? When you do it on the left hand side, this is the path. So I think, but I'm not sure. Maybe this root is you actually tell that what controller, what action it is, right? So similar to this one, you actually have to pass the pound. All right, let's see. Where's my this one? Great. Let's get to work. Okay. So controller, you know what's happening, right? No view. All right, let's implement the view. Index. Let's load all the users. How do I do that? Okay, let's implement the HTML ERB file. I'm not going to switch to the directory, but you know where it is, right? So I'm just going to call it users, and let's create a table. Okay, and now sometimes when you're lazy, you can do this. Okay, I have a variable, and I'm going to print out. That's not ERB syntax. So you do this, and then like it's listing the users. So when you create users, it will display them. So I'm just going to create a fake user. Email Harley School.vn. There's no password, just that, okay? And what else? What other field? Name Harley. That's good, right? So that's created. You see the record here, and then I do this over here. Bam! And it's one way to take a look of the crazy structure that they have, right? You get familiar with it soon. But that's the lazy way. What's the proper way to display this? All right, so you do it over time. We will use the Bootstrap syntax. You have a table element with table class name. So then inside this table, usually you want a t-head and a t-body, right? So t-head with Bootstrap, you actually say t-head default is the class name. Unfortunately, it looks like that verbose, but inside that, maybe now I can have name, email, and maybe created at. Okay? So in t-body, what do I have? I have the list of users. Stop me, right? If you're falling asleep, right? You have to contribute, right? Hopefully, okay. What do we print here?
Name.
The list of rows, right?
Yeah.
So that's rows, and
User.name.
okay, user.name. What else?
User.email.
So let me just clear out this trash. This changes to email, and then you maybe I make it simpler. Time ago in words, and this is created at. Seems okay?
Yeah.
Let's run this. Alright, I just save it and run it. Unfortunately, I still have it, so the table is actually down here. Okay, now this table looks ugly. Let's fix that by including Bootstrap. So alpha Bootstrap, actually this is the Bootstrap one. By now, the good thing about doing something again and again, you become so fast, right? I know this. I'm going to put it there. I want tether. only this part, as I already explained to you guys. And I'm going to run bundle, but in the meantime, I also move assets style sheet application.css to what? SCSS. Whoops. And let's go into that application.css. Let's forget about JavaScript for now. This one, right? We don't need any of that. Import Bootstrap. So you can actually import users as well. Some of you ask why. Obviously, in style sheet, you already have this generated for you. All right, while we're at it, let's do JavaScript for application as well, yeah? This one, wait, the style sheet is for this guy, right? I don't like all this extra stuff. I don't like that either. So just Bootstrap. Now, have you noticed the difference between this and without? If this, it just in the view, you will see only one file, bootstrap.css, but this, it will require a lot more small files. So that's okay. I can just include everything like that. After running bundle, I have to Rails restart the server. If not, it will not find it. So if I did that, what do you think this will show? All right, kids, simple, right? Okay, so now I'm not happy yet because I need to go to layout. And down here, let's put it in a container, right? Okay, things look a little bit better now, right? With this in here, we'll put a navbar later. But let's get to the README file before we forget. And we want to say user can sign up by providing blah, blah, right? Okay, so I just basically what I did was generate the user. So I just say add user model. I just git commit all those files. But now I need to be able to sign in. So let's learn routes and form for. Okay, routes. We have to learn this now. Resources, users. If you go to this on production, you see that, on your local machine, you see that you have this nice Rails/info. In here, it lists all the routes for you. Okay? If you are the command line person, what's the syntax?
Rails route.
Yeah, Rails routes or reg routes in Rails 4. You can still use reg, right? Now, it looks like it's slower, right? So, this is cool. Yeah. Yeah, Rails resource, generate the model and controller, and add the resources thing to file, to the routes file. If you do Rails generate user controller and then index, you will see this ugly get users index, and it's like, who want that, right? So resource is nice because it understands that this is CRUD, right? CRUD, or this is RESTful routes. Okay, so what I want to point out is that out of this thing, right, you see that there's 7 action. You can format here means you can have HTML as the default. This is optional. It means open paren, but you can have .js, .json. Okay, .json return JSON, .js return something that runs as JavaScript. And if you post to users, then you create a new user. So look at this one. That's how we learn. Okay, it's quite clear. How do you sign up? Which URL do you go to? Okay, so you first go somewhere so you can fill in the form, right? Huh? New, where? Here? So you know that. That's the name of the variable. Let's do that. So how do people sign up? Users, new. Simple. Let's implement this. So go to controller, user controller, dev new, and let's create a user, new, so we can use in the form, right? And let's create the new.html.erb file. And in here, new user, so we'll say create an account, right? You can use sign in, sign up, or register, or create an account. Some people don't like sign up and sign in because English people don't know the difference, right? It's harder. Sign in, sign up. Did I just sign up or sign in? So maybe this is clearer, right? So let's try this. Awesome. Let's create a form. Let's learn the form syntax, right? Okay, form. You can put it in a form partial. Like sometimes you stuck. You can go to the scaffold in one of your projects, the last one, the lazy project, and then you can read how they do it. But let's do it ourselves. Form 4. We use form 4 on a resource. Here is a user. This is RESTful route. So we follow all the rules. Do. What else? Alright, this is how we do form 4, right? Now what's happening here is form 4 will create something like, in HTML, it will create something like that, right? But the action, because it understands that this is a new user, it will take you to this one, and it will send a post. So that's how it generates this up here, generate the HTML down here. Is that clear? So now what you want is, for example, next is you say f dot, when people want to sign up, what do you want to give them? Text field, email. Let's be lazy. Okay, maybe we do both email and, but you need to tell the user what field it is. So you can use a placeholder. Say enter your email, right? Or, but sometimes on some browser or sometimes people click on the link. Let's see what it is. Okay, here. Okay, this is nice. But I click on it, it's like, is it password or email or name? Okay, so I don't know. All right, so let's for now. Okay, let's do label, field. No, just label. Dot what? Email. Cool. So this is HTML. This label right here. You see the for user email. Up here, the ID of this guy is not this one. ID is user email. So the for here go to here. So it means if you click on this label, I don't know why it doesn't work like that. Oh yeah, if you click on it, see? You click on the label, it still jump into the text because they're meant for each other. Okay, that looks fine, but I want this to look nice. So maybe you have one more thing here. Form control. Oh, okay, good. And then if you use Bootstrap, you know this under from group. And it's just make this okay, like that. So now I do the same thing for up here will be name first, right? So let's change it to name. Full name, please. Okay, maybe placeholder is not necessary, right? Like, okay, that's cool, but we need to submit. There's one more field we need. No? What is it? What? One more field. Password. Thank you. Okay, password. Uh-oh. We don't have a password field. Let's see what happens, yeah? So this is called password field. Why is it a password field? You don't want people to see what it is, right? Okay. And then what happened now? There's no placeholder either. Okay, so how do we prevent it from crashing? Uh-oh. That's weird. No, that's weird. Okay, maybe I change it to I think I know why. If you do this email as emails, okay, this will crash because it will try to pre-fill. It will try to fill this with some value. So for example, in the controller, if I pass in hello right here as the value, it will pre-fill that with hello. That's why it crashed, right? For password, do you think it ever pre-fill password? So password field is special, right? So it doesn't check. Aha, okay, right? So Looks fine. I think I have a form now. Let's make it submit. How do I make it submit? F dot submit. So you can just put any text here. So create account. Okay. Let's make it look nice. Alright. Awesome. Oh, I just hate this thing. Huh? So now we need to make it work. So that's the view. I go back to the README. User can sign up by providing email, password, and name. Well, if I submit now, don't be afraid. Let's click. Yay, and submit. Alright, action not found. Alright, let's go and create that. Users. What's in here? So if I have this action now, and if I just crash, I refresh this right now, it crashed right here. You see that we have some data here, right? It means you have some data under params user. This is being submitted. Okay, in Rails 5, it is an action controller parameter class, but in Rails 4, it's a hash. It's the same. They act like a hash. So what does it mean? By now we know we have a private thing here and we call it user params. This is to prevent people from submit the column like admin equals true, right? So I say params require user permit name email password. And up here then, how do I do it? User is user.new user params. That's okay, right? I'm just refactoring these guys down here. No big deal. If user.save, then where do I go? Huh? Where do I go? Yeah, it just goes back to root, right? Redirect to root path. Notice maybe. So this is a way to set the flash. So what? Account created. If not, you go back to that page, right? No, you just ask the user to enter again. Huh? So maybe I call new. So this is the tricky part. This is short for render action new. But it's short. It's like that. It just means give me the same template as this new guy. And you only do this if you prepare the same variables, okay? So here I have users, here I have users. Let's see why I'm doing this. Right now, if you create a user, it will create, if you do this now, I refresh this page, okay? Command R, it will resubmit the form. And now we have unknown password, okay? Well, we have to solve that. That's one problem. Let's just fake it. I pretend I have something called password. Alright, by now do you know what this does? It means it pretends that you have this getter, right? Okay, very quickly. And you're gonna have the setter. Okay, these 6 lines is the same as this line. So I just pretend this is a virtual attribute. Okay, so I resubmit again. Boom, I have a new user, right? It's created. So that's not interesting. Let's create the cases when I cannot submit. Validate. What do you want to validate? Name. You want it to be present. Validate. Email. What? What else? Uniqueness is what? Is what? True? There's one even better. You can actually say uniqueness is true. So if it's not nil, then it's true, right? But in here you can take extra argument. Case insensitive true. No, false. It means that if I sign in as Harley capitalized and all of that, it will still check. It always down case and check. So that's cool, huh? It does the work for you. If not, you have to write your own method and it's a lot of work. Alright, So that's interesting. Let's see if we can do that. Go to users, new. If I click create account now, it goes back here. Try this. This is my name. Create. Use. There's name and yeah, it autofill that. So let's try again with. All right. So now uniqueness, right? It's true, and let's say whatever. Press enter. What's happening here? It returned the same form and it fill in all the fields. This is because in users we are not redirecting back to new. We have this user record. It's not saved yet. So there's some value in there. You can display again. It's not saved, so it's nice, right? That's why you re-render it. Okay? Now we need to display these guys. Display this message. Okay? So let's go to the user form. Technically, when I say display is down here, there's some errors. I want to display the errors. Okay. But where are the errors? It's in the user object. Okay, let's take a break. Go down to, forget about the browser, all right? We go down to the console. Actually, let's just more screen as state. You ready? So I have a new user. If I save now, what happened? Crash. Name cannot be blank. Email cannot be blank. How do you prevent it from crashing? If you don't like crashing, you say save, right? And it will just check that and roll back and return false. After you call save, when you call it, it checks validation. So now you can actually say errors. Oh, right? But it's not as useful. Most of the time, you actually do this. Errors.full messages. Right? It's an array of errors. Nice. Now, if you want to show someone, then a lot of times you can just do that. To sentence. Just if you have 5 errors, you know. So that's A. Let's say now a.email. I set it to hwk2.vm. If I check errors again, nothing changed. Why? It hasn't checked. I haven't saved. You don't have to save to check. You can actually say, is it valid? This also check. So if you want to check before you save something, you can use valid question mark. So it say false. Why? You see this query? It checked the database. If there's someone else with this email, right? It did that. So that's cool, right? Now, go back to a.errors. Name cannot be blank and email has already been taken. Oh, that's cool. So Rails does a lot of work. It's just pretty. Now let's say I set name. And of course, I need a different email, right? Okay. Then I will be able to save it. So how do I guess I have enough records, so that's fine. So back to this. You want to display these errors. This one. Let's display it. It's very common that you do this. In this form right now, you check. Okay, so what do you check? If user errors dot. Okay, so maybe you say unless empty. Wait, if it's not empty, right? Okay, don't use unless for more than one condition, right? Unless empty. Okay, if it's empty, sounds good. So you know that maybe you can show this, and then you can just say user.errors.full sentences. No, full messages dot to sentence. Yeah. And now I'm clicking on this create account. Nice. I think we have a form that works. A lot of time now, you know. But enter that. Email cannot be blank. Remove, enter. Nice. Of course, you can do more things, like maybe you can loop over this each. Right? You can do this each, and then each one of this you can display in a. You can display in an li. message, right? That's up to you, okay? Okay, so go back to this. But this form, something wrong with this form. The password field, right? We don't want to implement it ourselves. So the thing that we are using, Rails provide, and this is good enough, has secure password. Okay? What does it do? It adds methods to set and check password. Okay? It requires you to have a password digest attribute. That's why we created a password digest column. So how do I use it? How do I use it, guys? Click here.
Yes, async to backwards.
It say that first, please use this bcrypt gem. The bcrypt gem, you search for bcrypt in this commented out, so just do that. Right? This gem is, so I run bundle. It provides better encrypting algorithm. It means when you convert a string into an encrypted string, it gives you the option to do it very slowly. Why slow? Because if someone take a dictionary and try to encrypt all the words and then check the encrypted string, right? It takes a longer time to check, right? LinkedIn used to use SHA encryption, which is very fast. And then they also use the default salt key. So when people discover that, the LinkedIn leak, right, password, they have millions of encrypted password. But what people do is people take all this dictionary, all these common words, they encrypt that, and then they compare. That's how they found Mark Zuckerberg's password. And then check, hack his Twitter account because he used the same password, right? So, okay, so I added this. Just know that now it's everyone use bcrypt now, right? And Rails take care of that for you. Has secure password. What is it? It's like if you use Ruby, it seems like this is a sort of like a keyword, right? In Ruby, you can define anything to be put anywhere because it's very dynamic. In Java, you cannot just have a random word inside your class like that, right? So this is a class method, and you just call it. Just like validates, right? Belongs to, has many. But how is it implemented? So I show it. Has secure password, right? It's in the module, and it's in. So now, right? It's already included in active record. So you just need to call this method. When you call that, you see it require bcrypt gem. Ask question if it's too fast, okay? And the cool thing here, look, you see it call validate, it add this method as if you copy and paste this method into my model. So here's my model. Technically, I copy and paste this in here, but because I do has secure password, I don't have to do that. This get copied in here, okay? Here's a validate a block. It just means that it's checking if you have a password digest, then it will check your password, validate your password. So that this is, okay, let me explain. Basically, if you save a user that's already created with a password digest, created means that person gave me a password, and now I have a digest, right? It means when you save this user, don't check for the password field. This user is not changing his password yet. So this is just the condition. Don't validate the blankness of the password. Only do that for new users. That's clear, right? So these lines, not bad. So what else is cool here? Basically, it also take care of checking password confirmation and password. So let's test it ourselves. Okay, so I am going to just go in here very quickly, show you. You see, this is a bit too much, so I won't go too deep into it. There are more methods added to this user. Instant methods, this is another module, a bunch of methods in it. And some of those means, oh, you see this? It's very similar to what we did. Yeah? They create this virtual password, so it means I can remove this guy. Okay? Has secure password does that. And also, it defines this setter. When you give it a password, it will encrypt and save the password digest field. Okay, I think maybe this one is too scary. Who here is completely lost? Raise your hand. Are you not lost? Amazing. Are you sure? Okay, all you need to do is that this is some magic so that this can happen. I'm going to show you right now. Okay, Rails console. Now we have user has secure password, right? It's only this much. But now I have a.new. Now I do valid. Now a.errors. That's hard to see. So full errors. What is that? Full messages. To sentence. Name cannot be blank. Email cannot be blank. And password cannot be blank. Oh, that's cool. Well, okay. I have password is a.password is what? Hello? A.name is world. And then I try again. I say check. And then I just run that, right? Email cannot be blank. Okay, fine. What if I'm... Okay, I just do that, okay? And what if I set password confirmation? They're different, right? So I check this again. Password confirmation doesn't match. It's nice, right? All this extra validation to your form now should work. This is great. But you notice how I didn't set password confirmation? I can, right? This is UI UX. So user. Alright, do you want to set password confirmation here? Who wants to set password confirmation in your app? Confirmation. Okay, let's do that. You see, it's alright. Why? We have to restart, right? The server. Because I just installed bcrypt. Great. Now let's do new. Create account. Good. Ta-da, ta-da, enter. Password cannot be blank. What happens? So this gem allows you to not ask for password confirmation, right? But if you ever enter it, so you can actually prevent that. There's a trigger that there's a flag that you can actually require password information is nil or not. Okay? But for this purpose, to show you that it works, we'll just do that. We'll create another user account, but this time they're different. Uh-oh. Why? Why? Does anyone know? It's because of this guy. Right? I need to enlist that as well. Okay, so I think that's why you can delete, right? No, you can create without. So you get the idea. Now, it's so easy to reset password. Why ask the user to type it many times? For many people, they even generate this random password and then they note it down somewhere and save it. Like I do. I use password manager. So I just generate. So I don't like asking for password confirmation, right? So I don't like it, but it's okay. This form, maybe I'll take it out and user new, take this one out. I think we're really close. I think we finished signing in. Let's just add the sign in button to make it legit. So how do you do the sign in button? I will use the nav bar. Okay. Just a basic navbar will do. It looks like this. So let's code the navbar together, yeah? Layout. How do I do the navbar? There's a nav element, navbar dot navbar light. Maybe you can say background is faded. That's not important. So now you have that nav. Inside this one, you have a link that is the brand, right? You can use link to if you want, but here is a pretty much always. Go to root, and in here you just call it. Maybe what is this? This is our app name, right? And then in here is the URL. So sorry, it's a little hard to see there. You have navbar nav, and down here just linked nav item. Okay, I know enough. Nav link and then nav link. So link to sign up. No, what do you call it? Create an account. What is the link? Where does it go to? Looks good. I need to add one more thing. Nav link. Thank you. All right. Wonderful.